Hi y'all, I'm Allison. It's September 18th, Thursday, and Magical Readathon over at Orilium Academy is in full swing. I've got 1 week until exams, which means I have a week until, I need to start having these books completed. I don't know if I'm going to make my deadlines, but I'm going to keep trying. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a playlist up here so you can backtrack and see all of my chaos that's been going on. And, if you've been going along here, I don't know. I have no idea if we're going to pull this off or not because I'm not feeling very optimistic, to tell you the truth. Here is my schedule for the day. I only have 2 classes. At least, the 3 different meeting times, but there are 2 subjects, which is nice because I am behind on, I've got to get some editing done, and life kind of took over this morning. I missed both of my morning classes. Yay! But that was because I took my mom to get her allergy shot. We had some errands to run for her. I had some phone calls to make to doctors to get prescriptions and shift appointments. It's just been one of those kind of mornings, which is very productive, but I did not do any schoolwork. And I am not going to penalize myself for that. I figure, life happens. So I'm just going to kind of flop it. Since my afternoon is completely free, I'm just going to declare animal studies as afternoon classes and see if I can manage to get 2 hours in at some point this afternoon. I also am prioritizing Bingo Maze because that video still isn't edited. By the time I'm done with school, my brain is just too tired, so I haven't been able to make any progress on that. And that is going to become a priority today. And if I have to skip class to do it, then so be it. All right, let's go ahead and find out what Fate is going to have in store for me. Okay, my daughter just got home from the vet, and we've got to switch their food because they're kind of stressed out and having issues. So let's find out what else Fate has in store for me. Sign up for tutoring. Gain 1 hour over the weekend for one class you're falling behind in. Okay, that could be really good. And if there's not a class that I'm behind in, actually, I'm behind in elemental studies. Darn, because I did not get my full time the other day when I was up at getting my tired and everything. I think I managed to read for like 20 minutes during that whole thing. So I'm behind. I get an extra hour for elemental studies this weekend. Nice. I need that. That's awesome. All right. I am going to go get the cats to stop egging each other on, work on my Bingo Maze video, and attend animal studies, which is remarkably bright creatures, which I don't think I have a house full of at the moment. We will see. I'm getting close. Maybe I can finish this one today. All right. Bye for now. Guess what? It's Friday morning. Yesterday did not go any way at all like I had hoped or planned, or you know how it is. So let's look back at yesterday. I skipped my morning classes. I did not go to animal studies at all, even though I tried to give myself as much chance as possible, because I gave myself permission to do that during the afternoon hours, and I didn't even accomplish that. I didn't even do it in the evening. Nope. I spent all day editing Bingo Maze, which I'm glad to say just went up. So at least that is done, because it was like almost an entire month since I filmed that. Crazy. Feels good knowing that it's done, and I hope y'all enjoy the new rule. But we got to get back into, now I got to get back into the Orilium mindset, because while I did not do my animal studies classes, which means I had no time with Marcellus, I did, however, go to restoration. I started at 10:30 last night, but I did read for the full 2 hours, so I stayed up till 12:30, and I managed to get to page 42. This is very slow reading for me. Right now, granted, I'm still at the beginning of it, but it feels more like lesson on Egypt itself than Cleopatra. At first, it was just talking about her family, her ancestry, and now it's kind of like laying the groundwork for what Egypt was like and the political climate, everything at the time when she was a teenager and about to take over being pharaoh. So it's slow going. I'm hoping that it's going to pick up and we'll actually get into Cleopatra's life herself, but we will see. So let's see what fate has in store for me, because I know it's going to be a very busy day. So hopefully it's going to be nice to me. Okay. Our fate deck's getting smaller. I do not put the cards back in, by the way. Okay, let's see. See if I can get some time, because I lost time. And I have less than a week until exam starts. Yay. Okay, ready? Caught passing notes. Uh-oh. Stay after class to write lines on the board. Miss 15 minutes of next class. Okay, so I would say it would have to be in the second class of the day, because I'm going to get caught during the first class. Oh, okay. That worked out good, because here is my schedule for Friday. It's a busy day. I think this is the busiest day out of the entire week. So I get to start with elemental studies, which is awesome, which also means I need to pull a rock to find out which book I will be taking to class. Son of Neptune, which I still haven't finished, or Cardinal of the Kremlin. I'll be happy with either one. So let's get the rocks and find out that. Okay, and then I'll be losing 15 minutes in astronomy. Okay, so I'm going to take Neptune is odd and Cardinal of the Kremlin will be even. And I got this one. Number... Jeez, I am out of practice. I used to be really good at holding these. There we go. 6. Odd, Percy, even, Kremlin. So I'm taking Cardinal of the Kremlin. Getting pretty far. It'll be nice to spend an hour with this. And then I will have 45 minutes with animal studies, which I believe, yeah, that's going to be Remarkably Bright Creatures that I missed. I also have to go pick up a prescription for my mom. So I will check back with y'all and let you know how my day is progressing once I've progressed some. So bye. Okay, we're smack dab in the middle of the afternoon. Look at my schedule. It's quite busy. I did do my morning classes. So I had my hour with elemental studies. It was Cardinal of the Kremlin, and I'm getting a little more comfortable in the book. So I'm reading a little faster just because all of the names, all the places and everything, I can picture it all clearly now. I'm not having a hard time trying to keep up with who's who and what. So intriguing, so good. And it always makes me want to go watch one of the Tom Clancy movies, particularly Patriot Games or Hunt for Red October. I just want a CIA movie now from, late 80s, 90s. Even A Lethal Weapon. I'm just always puts me in the mood for one of those. Okay, so after I had elemental studies, I thought I was going to be doing animal studies, but I was wrong because I didn't have a copy of my calendar or my little schedule. I was astronomy. I did go for 45 minutes because I lost 15 minutes due to, what was it? Did I get caught passing notes? Yeah, so I gave up my 15 minutes and went for 45, which got me all the way to here. So I had this much left and I had the class again in the afternoon. So I just finished it not too long ago. I did do all my notes and all of this stuff that I always do when I finish a book. I still have, I was going to say I still have some time, but yeah, we need to back up because I went over that. I flew by that too quick. I finished it. I finished astronomy. So first of all, we get to switch that time on the schedules. Here's what the schedule looked like. And now look at all that pink is now gray and it's all study hall. Oh, that rhymed. So that means when I finish this, I still have 27 minutes left. I haven't used the second half of that class. So I've got almost a full half hour that I can use any book. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use it for. So we'll get to that in a second because once I finish this book, I was just like, yeah, I'm getting rid of it. I am unhauling this book. And then it reminded me that I didn't do my unhaul yesterday when I decided to clean the dorm room. I was supposed to get rid of 4 books and I haven't done it yet. So book number 1. And I just did not like this one at all. It was so many levels of no, which really surprised me because I've always liked Regina Jeffers' Pride and Prejudice books, but this one, no, there was just something off between the dynamic between Georgiana, Darcy, and Colonel. She is married to the Colonel in this one, and there was just something that just had a little bit of a, and normally I love Georgiana and the Colonel being paired up, but this time, no, it just, I think because he kept bouncing back and forth in his thoughts of thinking her, reminiscing when she was a child and looked up to him, and then he'd be thinking of her as his wife, like within the next couple of paragraphs, and it just did not sit well at all. And aside from that, the story itself, it was relying on some Scottish lore. I think that as I was reading, I was like, please let this be based on a legend, because out of left field, I will just let you know, cannibalism gets thrown into this. So it just, yeah, because she's up in Scotland. And so there were some things I liked, and most of it I didn't. I am unhauling this. The only reason I did not DNF this book was it was a textbook and I had to read it for class, and I'm so relieved it's done. So first book that's being unhauled. We need 3 more books that I'm getting rid of, and I think I know which ones I want to. Off the top of my head, well, I was kind of like, I'm surprised that I didn't like this book. It reminded me, there is one from another author that I normally just auto buy and love, but I'm finding out maybe I don't love them as much as I initially thought, because they are becoming quite hit or miss for me. And that's Christina Lauren. And this one was a miss. I went and checked back at my notes. I read this in 2022 for Christmas. And yeah, this one, I said I didn't like it. This does not have the dual POV that I love from their books. And this one really wasn't Christmas. It didn't have as much of the Christmas vibes that I wanted. It was more about reminiscing with 2 families getting together and everything. I did like the family aspect of it, but the book just, no. So this is the second one to go, and it makes room for a new Christmas book because I have 1 Christmas shelf. So space there is very, that's high. What's the word I want? The square footage price there is very, very high. Yeah, it's a high rent area. So, okay, I need to get rid of 2 more books. And I realized I have A Lesson in Vengeance still. I thought I got rid of it. I ended up with 2 copies because of Owl Crate and Once Upon a Book Club. There's another book I did not like. I didn't like the characters. What could have been good about it, the mystery-wise, it was just became obvious to me there was a lot of alcohol drinking in it by I believe they were teens or early college. And I don't mind if it adds to it, but it was just over the top. And it just did not work for me. I hated the main character. Yeah. Only reason I didn't DNF this one was I wanted to see what all the presents were. So I did that a long time ago. So this will be going, and it is got a little signature plate I'll put in there. Okay, so that's the 3rd book. That one was easy because I thought that had left a long time ago. Let me think. I need 1 more book. I'm getting rid of Othello. Again, this is one that I thought I had hauled a long time ago. I don't like this play. I don't. I'm glad I read it because Desdemona, you hear about that. This is referenced a lot, but no, really heavy on gossip and adultery and bad decisions. So no, this one I would never want to reread ever again. So again, it makes space on my Shakespeare shelf. There might be more of these that I don't have. I'm sure there are. Okay, so there, I cleaned my door room, getting rid of historical fiction, Christmas, fantasy, and a classic. Not too shabby. If only it were that easy to clean my own room and house. And yeah, okay, anyway. Oh, there's another thing. Since I finished another class, another book, we're going to keep with the tradition or the precedent that I set before. That means my last untouched book for elemental studies has entered the chat. So fire will now be added to the rotation. So what I'm going to do whenever I have an elemental studies class or a study hall that I plan to use for a said class, then I will have to randomly pick between 3 books now. And hopefully we'll actually get back to finding out the ending of The Son of Neptune, because it's been a while. Although I'm not upset that I'm making progress in Cardinal of the Kremlin, but I do miss Percy and his friends. And this I'm really excited to get into. So, okay. I think it'll be fun to have all three in rotation. That way, when I get down to the last couple of days of Orilium, typically I end up with just one book that I'm trying to finish. So this way I'll still be juggling, because I do like that aspect of bouncing in and out and having to wait before I continue on. So this is a way to continue that through all the way to the end of the school year, or the semester, or the readathon, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, okay, I'm rambling. I've got 30 minutes left. I am going to get something to eat. I haven't eaten. I will go to study hall, and I guess what we'll do, and this is what I did with Tom Clancy. I'm going to take this to the 30 minutes that I have remaining for this afternoon. So to officially welcome it to the schedule, the rotation, whatever we're going to call it, because that's, again, what I did with the Tom Clancy book. As soon as it was added, it went to the next one. So I get 30 minutes with Fire, so probably just enough to start trying to keep everybody's name straight, get introduced to him, and then I'll have to put it down until who knows when. So anyway, I will see you this evening when my nighttime classes start. And look, the rest of my day is study hall. I just get to pick whatever I want. So awesome. All right, bye. Okay, I'm back, and I did the first 27 minutes of this book, and it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to get into this. I absolutely love this series. I read Graceling. I don't know how long ago that was. It was a little bit. I did pull up summary. I will give AI the summary. It was just enough. It was just a paragraph, that all I needed to know of what I couldn't remember from Graceling. So essentially, this is going to be a prequel to Graceling. So, and it just starts off hitting the ground running. So it's really hard to put this one down, but I did, and because I had to wait for evening so I could continue on. And while I did that, I finally responded to some comments. I have been reading all the comments, by the way, that y'all have done on the videos that I've put up lately. And for one reason or another, I haven't responded yet, but I did on Bingo Maze. As of this moment, I have responded to everybody on Bingo Maze. I do intend to go back to the other videos and respond, because I've been reading them and I've had all this stuff I wanted to say to y'all, but you know, time is my Achilles heel. Speaking of that, I need to, okay, I gotta focus. My brain is so much on Bingo Maze, and I just start editing that and having the board. I just want to play again. But we are doing Orilium, and Orilium is just as fun. So I have, for the rest of the day, the evening, I think I have, 3.5 hours of study hall. That is awesome. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, let's look at the schedule, what my exams are. My first one, I know, is on Thursday. I have less than a week for elemental studies. I had to get a copy for me because I don't have it handy. It doesn't float in the air beside me. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, animal studies is my next one. So a week from today is animal studies. And I have not actually finished that book. I think that's the class I missed yesterday. It is. So, study hall is meant to catch up on the books you're behind on or get ahead. Since there's nothing else today, that frees me up, because the only class now on here is elemental studies. So I could do that. I think what I'm going to do, I'm in the mood for the elemental studies, because all three of those books are just, yes, all three of them. And I don't know that I'm in the mood for Remarkably Bright Creatures. Nothing against the book, but I think I'm in a fantasy, adventure, middle grade kind of frame of mind. So let's let fate decide which of the three books now that I'm going to choose between. I'm going to take too much effort. Okay, what we will do, let me see how I'm going to do this time. Okay, we'll just continue with the rocks, I think. I did have a fun way to do it, but I don't know that I want to do all this setup. I have to pull out the board. Just a second. I gotta do it because if it's complicated, that's what I do. So give me a minute to do a little bit of setup. Have you guessed what I'm breaking out? Do you know what I'm about to do? Yeah, I never go overboard on anything. Instead of just grabbing a book and saying, I'm going to read this for the next hour, in my made up schedule for the readathon and everything. No, I can't just do that. Now we got to play Just Drop It. So we're going to give 2 numbers to each book and then the star will be wild. So I'm just going to give these a little shuffle. Not looking, not that it matters. And then, okay. By the way, since I started editing Bingo Maze, my brain, although the creativity is finally coming back, I can feel it. And it's like, oh, I could try this or I could do that. And uh-oh. Because it's been pretty tame up until now, but I think the creativity's coming back. Okay, we gotta focus. Now I have 1 through 7 plus the star in here. This tells us where to drop the little disc. And it's going to be here, this 6th spot. See? Ready to find out what I'm going to take to study hall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The book with 3. Oh, and the 3 is laying down because it's in spy mode. Oh, it's hiding. It didn't want to be discovered. Okay, I'm continuing on. Okay, that was kind of fun. I am way too easily amused. So I will go learn how to be a spy for another hour, and then I will come back and we'll figure out what we're going to do with the next block of study hall. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Man, just as things started to get really tense and amp up, class ended and I was kicked out. I wanted to stay and just keep reading, but nope. The professor wouldn't let us stay. Chased out of the room, literally. But the good thing is I do have an hour and a half of study hall again, so I think I'm going to stick with elemental studies, which means we're going back to Just Drop It to find out which book I'll be doing. I wanted to stay here. I'm going to change the numbers on the bottom just for a little bit of fun. And we'll redo the numbers in front of the books. And of course, let it decide where it's going to be dropped. We'll go with this one, the first slot. So the odds are pretty good that it's going to land over here, but we will see. Ta-da! 6. So I'm switching. I don't mind this, especially since I'm just starting it, and an hour and a half will be really good because then I'll get deep into this book and I'll be comfortable and able to hop in and out really easily, or much easier than if this sits over the weekend without me touching it after just reading a few pages. So, hour and a half. When I'm done with that, I will come back and let you know, and we'll probably do this one more time tonight because I still have another study hall. This is a fun Friday night. Okay, I will be back with y'all when I'm done. All right, I've got one more hour of study hall left, so we'll mix everything up again and do it one more time. Might as well, right? I have made quite some progress. I'm on like page 101, and it's much darker than I remember, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. It's been so long since I've read this that I remember absolutely nothing, and I am so enjoying it. Yeah, I love the horse, small. All right, I am getting quite sleepy and I'm sore. Staying in the same position for this long is proving to be a little difficult. So we'll see if I can do one more hour of study hall. I'll try. I might not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But let me shuffle everything up and then we'll find out what my last study hall will be for tonight. My brain's turning to mush. Well, not really, but I'm getting a little tired. Let's find out where I have to drop it. Fourth spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 6. Yay! Okay, this is the perfect way to end my evening. So I get an hour with Percy Jackson. So nothing, of course, against Cardinal of the Kremlin or fire, but Cardinal of the Kremlin, you have to think about that one a little bit more. And fire, that one's, the stakes feel pretty high because the horse is healing right now, and that makes me sad. I'm ready to just go along for the ride and not necessarily have, I don't know. I'm enjoying fire, but like I said, it's on the darker side. The characters, the history there. If you've read it, talking about fire's dad and things like that. But I'm going to go spend an hour with Percy Jackson. Actually, it might be enough to finish it. I didn't realize I was close to the end. Okay, when was the last time I read this? It was Monday. I haven't picked this up since Monday. That's been like 4 days. Yeah, 4 whole days. Okay, I'm going to go read. And then I'm going to bed, so I'll probably just see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Sunday the 21st, and I have some great news. Not only is it the first day of fall, but I finished Percy Jackson. I finished it Friday night with the last study hall class that I had. So absolutely loved it. And I think this might be my favorite of the entire series. And I mean going all the way back to The Lightning Thief, the whole universe. I absolutely love how he blends the Greek and Roman mythology in this one. So, and the new characters, love them. Frank and Hazel, yeah, they're all top tier. So much fun. So I finished this one, but of course I still have 2 more books for elemental studies. So I'm not out of the woods, and that first class is going to be on this Thursday. So I only have 4 days. So yeah, we're not gonna worry about that. I decided this is basically my last weekend before the exams start, so we're gonna have a portal day. So we're gonna step on through that theme. I'm not gonna pick a specific day of the month, so we're not gonna worry about if the class time has been converted to study hall or not. We'll just use the current schedule. I think that'll simplify things. Now, I want to say I've already had some papers that already had the days of the week on it. Okay, I took the days from the wheel when we make the calendar, the pink. That way all the colors are the same, and we'll just ignore whatever class time it has on there. We're just looking for the day of the week. So let's see what schedule I'm going to follow. It's going to be, I don't know if I want a full day or a light day. I don't know, because I also have the weekend stuff. I didn't do that yet. Okay, I got one right here. And we're going to be following Tuesday's schedule. I think that one's a relatively light day. Okay, actually it's a kind of boring day. But then I have a feeling they're all going to kind of turn out to be that way because, classes are dropping off. But it's basically giving me more study hall time. So I think that's what's going to happen no matter what. Lily says good morning, by the way. Lily, can you wait? Oh, she stopped for probably about 2 seconds. Okay, so I also get to gain an hour a weekend for one class I'm falling behind in. I am behind on animal studies because I missed Thursday morning's classes. And then I gain an hour for any class over the weekend. So I have 2 extra hours in addition to Tuesday schedule. So it's actually going to be a really busy day. The good thing is I can do these 2 hours at any point in the day that I want. I like that. So let's go ahead and just do the first study hall of the day. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and drop a disc and find out which of the 2 books that I'm going to do. And we'll just make it even is fire and odd will be Clancy. Find out where I drop it. Let's go with this one. Second spot. So 1, 2. Odd. Tom Clancy. It seems like this book always wins, doesn't it? All right, so I will get an hour of this for study hall for the morning. And then I have the option to do those other 2 extra hours at any point today. So I will be back later, probably come noontime, and let you know what I plan to do for the afternoon and how this went. Bye. All right, it's about 3:45 in the afternoon. I've had a very productive day. Not only did I have a shower and get dressed, but I did my study hall this morning, and there's no way I could ever be a spy or anything like that. Just, yeah. The spy on the Russian side of things that's feeding information to the American forces. It looks like he may be compromised now, and I'm just on the edge of my seat, and I had to, of course, close the book and leave him in a very precarious situation. And the whole time I was getting so anxious. And the worst thing about it is I've read this book I don't know how many times, and I'm still like, oh no, what if he gets caught? So, which is a sign of a really good book. All right, then this afternoon I had a real class, and that was restoration. 2 hours with this. And I managed to get 32 pages. So slow of a read. But, you know, the font is quite small, as you can see. And there is a lot to take in. The good thing is we are finally up to when Caesar enters Cleopatra's life. So the first chapter was like all of the Ptolemy dynasty history and all of that. And then it was the first, I think, 21 years until Cleopatra is 21. And then now we're at Cleopatra and Caesar. So it's picking up. We're not relying on so many dates and trying to distinguish between all the Ptolemies and all the Cleopatras, because she was Cleopatra 7. I think her brother, who also was her husband for a while anyway, he's Ptolemy the 13th. So there's it gets, you get a little lost in all the names and trying to keep everything straight. So it's quite slow before that. Okay, so this afternoon I do have 1 more hour of study hall, and I was tempted to try and make more progress on Cleopatra, but if you look at our calendar, that is my very last exam. So once all the other books are done, I can use all my study hall to just read Cleopatra. Yay! So I'm not vibing with this one as much as my other one, but maybe that'll change now. Anyway, I've decided that I think the most prudent thing to do we'll just keep bouncing between the elemental studies. Maybe I can actually pull it off before Thursday. I don't know. But let's go ahead and drop it and see whether I go back to Tom Clancy or if I switch over to fire. And I was going to take a spot and drop it, but we'll continue on with our little thing here. In fact, we're going to do exactly what we did this morning and drop it on the second spot. So we'll see if it goes to the same place. So we'll leave the books the same, with Clancy being odd and fire being even, but let's change up where the numbers go since we're dropping it in the second slot again. So in case it makes it weighted towards Tom Clancy, we'll give these a little quick shuffle and we'll put them in there. Oh, I just thought one might be fun. Might do that next time we play Just Drop It. Okay. Yeah, I do have notes somewhere on what I intended to do with this game, and all of my notes and ideas that I had before all of my health stuff issues, they're buried here somewhere, and I can feel that part of my brain starting to wake up going, ooh, we need to find that stuff and get on it. So I did have a lot more intended with this, but I forgot what it was. That 3 in the wild seem to stick together, don't they? I need to laminate these. These are going to get pretty worn pretty quick. Okay, second slot. Ready? Wild. I get to pick. I don't. Darn it. I pick that I'm going to drop it again. Can I do that? Because, okay, now I don't know if I want to get back into Clancy because it is so nail biting. I don't know that I can, you know, it might be better to know sooner rather than later, but you know what? I'm going to do fire. Yeah, because I don't want that book to sit for too long. I think I'll go with that one. Oh, and guess what? Both books have a character named Archer. It's one of the main characters, at least so far in Fire. And it's a pivotal character in Clancy, but so far he hasn't had much of a part. He was there at the beginning, and now he's waiting in the wings, I think. But after a while, it's like, wait, which Archer? Because, yeah. I go, of course. Okay, so I will get an hour with this one for this afternoon, and then we'll be back and I think do it again. So I have one study hall tonight, and then I still have my extra time for the weekend. And I plan to do that during the evening because I only had one class tonight. Oh, and look. You see my lights? My husband put those up yesterday. We're kind of playing around with them. So I think they're pretty cool. Gives off really good lighting at night. I can change the color of them. But anyway, they're up there. Just kind of randomly thrown down. But I'm going to run off and spend an hour with Fire. And I will be back later. I am loving. I would assume it's pronounced Briggan. I love him and Fire. But so invested in this, but of course the hour goes too quickly when you've got a really good book in your hands, and I had to put it down. This was the last of my afternoon classes, so I've got my PJs on, my favorite pair. I'm sure you're probably getting tired of seeing these by now, but you know, it is what it is. And it's dark now, so I get to dive into my evening classes, which I only have one, and that's study hall. So of course we are going to turn it back over to just drop it and let it decide which book I will take to elemental studies. Maybe I'll get to stick with Fire. I'm gonna once again go with just these 2 books. Oh, you know what? Let me give us some more light. There, that's a little better. It's like, why does it look so weird? Okay, so I'm going to put this back over here, and we'll drop the disc again. Let me shuffle up the numbers, though. Can't believe it's already the 21st. That's crazy. Although by the time this goes up, it'll probably be 21st of October. Happy Halloween. All right, numbers are in place. And I will put it in this one. Almost dropped it. Can't do this anymore. 4th spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Kind of hung and then bam. So odd. So, okay, I'm bouncing back to Tom Clancy. Oh, it was getting really intense because the Russian that is giving some information to the CIA may be compromised. I don't know what I find out. Right now, he's safe. If I start reading it again, then things could get pretty dicey for him. But I guess it's just gonna have to play out. So I've got 1 hour with this, and this is my last official class for the day. And then I will, when I'm done with this one, when that hour's up, I'm gonna go straight to my tutoring because I had the fake card. So I had signed up for tutoring at some point last week, and I got to gain an hour over the weekend for one class that I'm falling behind in, and I missed the morning with this on Thursday. So I'll do an hour for this, and then I will come back and we'll do, I think I have one more of the fake cards to do. So I will see y'all after these next 2. Bye. Well, it's 10:30 now, and I finished my tutoring time. It was really good. I think I'll probably finish this at the next class, maybe, potentially. It's getting harder to put these books down, especially when I'm getting so close to the end, and I'm really invested in this. I wasn't sure, I think, about the midway point, but now it's just like, okay, I want to see everything come together at the end. Okay, but this will have to wait. And according to my fate deck that I got before, or the fate card, I'm joining a study group, and I have an hour for any class over the weekend. And of course, I'm going to use elemental studies. So once again, we are going to go back to Just Drop It to find out which book I'm going to finish my night with. Either Tom Clancy or Fire. And it seems like the Spy, his cover hasn't been blown completely yet, but things are very precarious. Okay, let's see where it's going to be dropped, and we'll do this one, which is 4. Ow, that was lifting too high. You would not, I have learned all of the muscles here. I know where every single one of them is and when it'll pop up. So, okay, we're dropping in the 4th slot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three. I forgot to assign odd and even. Should have done that first. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm not looking. I got the numbers, so I'm just gonna shuffle these up. I'm not looking. It's all. I have no idea. I don't even know if I grabbed them all. And I'm just gonna grab 2. And I'll put them on the thing. So I landed on 3. So whichever one gets an odd number. Oh. No, it's no, jeez. So they were 3 and 5. Since 3 came up, we'll just say Fire 1. I think that's a good way to do it. So I was going to say whichever one is closest, if they were both odd. Don't get any closer than being the exact number. So anyway, I'm going to go to the study group for this for an hour, and then I will be done for the night. Okay. Well, I did it. I went to the study group and thoroughly enjoying the book. Quite proud of myself for managing to go to all of the classes today, and the extra time that I had from the fate cards. So adding 2 hours onto the day. It was quite a long reading day, but a good one. It made quite a bit, how many times can I say quite? I made a lot of progress today. Quite happy with it, and I'm tired now, so I think I'm gonna call it here. I'll be back in the next one. We'll take a look at where I stand as far as progress report and what the odds are looking like on whether I'll be able to finish these books before my exams or not. So hope to see you in the next one, and have a great one. Bye.